Welcome to Honeybee Yoga Studio. I release new yoga classes for yogis of all levels every week, so if that sounds like your thing, please hit that red subscribe button below. And hi yogis, thanks for joining me today for another healthy and happy hips flow. We're going to warm up our entire bodies, but really focus on bringing some space through our hips. As always, if you'd like to grab a yoga block, a cushion, a pillow, anything to make your practice more comfortable, let's grab that now, and then let's begin our practice together. We're going to start lying on our spines with long legs and our arms by our side. Give yourself a second to settle into your mat. And then let's give ourselves a few moments to start to settle into our practice. Let that breath flow in and out. Allow yourself to tune out the outside world, giving yourself the opportunity to tune in to the inside world. Really connect with your breath, and as we move, connect with your body, your muscles, your joints. Let's take one or two more breaths here. Just listening to what our breath has to say. And then on one of our next inhales, we're going to start to wiggle those fingers, wiggle our toes. And when we feel ready, we're going to lift those hands up to the sky. And then as we exhale, let those arms fall heavy above our heads. We're going to take a few full body stretches here. So we're going to inhale and reach those hands away from our head. Press those toes away from our legs. And then exhale, release and relax. Again, as you inhale, our toes and our fingertips are moving away from each other. And exhale, release. This time when we inhale, we're going to start to shimmy our feet and our hands towards the right edge of our mat. So coming into a little banana, letting lots of space come into that left side body. And maybe we hang out here for a breath or two, whatever our body's asking for. And then we'll eventually make our way to the opposite side, those feet and hands coming to the left edge of our mat. And taking a big opening breath to bring space into that right side body. We'll use one of our next exhales to come back through neutral. And then we'll slowly find those arms coming back by our sides, bending into those knees, soles of the feet come into the floor, feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. We'll take a moment to windshield wiper our knees from side to side. We'll feel those knees come to stillness, and let's lengthen that left leg up into the air. Let's give that ankle a rotation in one direction, and let's rotate that ankle in the opposite direction. We'll bring a bend into our left knee, placing that left foot just below that right knee, coming atop that right thigh. And then we're going to slowly let that left sole of our foot begin to come all the way down to the earth. We come onto the right edge of our right leg. Let's bring our gaze to come out to the left side. And we'll take our first gentle twist. That right hand may come to the top of that left knee or hold on to that left foot. Maybe that left hand reaches away. A couple long breaths here. And then we'll use an inhale to bring our legs back up through neutral. Bring a bend into that left knee so it can come back onto the floor. That left foot comes next to its right partner. Take a little shimmy and a shake. And then we'll move to the opposite side. We'll lengthen our right leg tall up to the ceiling, rotating that right ankle. Let's take that rotation in the opposite direction. And this time we'll bend into our right knee and bring that right foot just below our left knee. This time we'll let our right foot start to fall towards the earth, coming onto the outside left edge of that left leg. This time that left hand maybe comes atop that right knee. Maybe that left hand grabs our right foot and our gaze comes out our right shoulder. Once again, we'll stay here for a couple of breaths. Eventually, we'll feel ourselves come back up through neutral. That right foot comes back into the earth next to its left partner. We'll take a little windshield wiper action once again from side to side. And then the next time our knees fall to our favorite side, we'll tuck into a small ball on that side for just a moment. And then when we're ready, that upper arm lengthens so we can lift our torso. And lifting ourselves over those knees, we'll come into our version of tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll move right into our version of cat-cow breath. So in our happy little cow, that belly button dips to the earth, our gaze lifts to the ceiling in front of us, our tailbone lifts to the ceiling behind us. And then as we exhale into our angry cat, that spine rounds and lifts up to the ceiling, pressing through our hands and knees, that gaze coming towards our knees or our inner thighs. We'll move through our version of cat-cow about a handful of times at our own pace, bringing flexion and extension through our spine. We want to make sure we warm our spine up properly so we can enjoy all of these twists throughout our practice. Wherever we are, let's hang out for 2 full breaths in each our angry cat and our happy little cow. So just pausing, taking any gentle micro movements if that feels good. And then let's move into the opposite posture. And we'll feel ourselves come through neutral. Moving towards our thread the needle, we'll start to walk our hands away from our body. Our chest, our heart starts to melt towards the earth. Let's take that right hand, dive it underneath our left arm towards 9 o'clock, and our right temple, our right cheek comes towards the earth. That left hand can press into the mat. Or if you prefer, that left hand can come all the way to your low spine, bending at your elbow. Once again, bringing a little rotation through our spine. Keeping those hips lifted. We'll take one more breath. And then slowly begin to release that right arm. reaching it long in front into the mat. And this time we'll take that left hand, dive it underneath our right arm towards 3 o'clock, and bring that left cheek, left temple down to the mat. And again, that right hand can stay where it is, or you can bend at the elbow and reach that right hand to your low spine. Long breaths here. And then eventually we'll release that right hand back to the earth. Lift that left arm away. Let's melt our hips behind us, coming into a narrow child's posture. Let's really reach those fingertips forward, pulling those shoulder blades away from your spine. Let's take 2 big breaths here. Big inhale, expand your chest and belly. Exhale, let that breath go. We'll do that one more time. A big inhale, feel that back body expand. And then exhale, release that breath. We're going to lift up through our tabletop. We're going to tuck those toes behind us. Let's lift those knees off of the earth and we meet in our version of plank. If you'd like to drop those knees for a moment, you're more than welcome to. While we're in our plank, we're engaging through our core. We're feeling those shoulders stack above our hands. Let's take a big inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to slowly walk those feet all the way up to our hands. Keeping those legs as straight as possible, as long as possible. And then we'll bring a gentle bend into our knees, melt that head towards the earth, release our fingertips towards the earth, forward fold. We'll inhale our spine to parallel the mat. Let's exhale to melt forward and then unwind our spine all the way tall up to standing. Our fingertips lift up to the sky. And then exhale those hands all the way to our heart. We'll take a peek down at those toes, make sure they're hip distance apart. As we inhale, we'll sweep our hands forward, and as we exhale, we're going to sit into our imaginary chair. So sinking those hips behind us, we feel that tailbone tuck. That core engages once again, and we might start to feel a little warmth building through those thighs. We'll inhale our fingertips a little bit taller, and then exhale, sink that tailbone a little bit deeper. One more full breath here, a long inhale, and exhale. As we inhale, let's lengthen those legs, forward fold, exhaling as our fingertips touch the earth. Inhale into our halfway lift. And let's exhale those hands to the earth, stepping back our feet into a tall plank. Again, option to lower to your knees if you prefer. Taking an inhale at the top, and then as we exhale, bending through our elbows, bringing our belly, our chest, all the way to the earth. Lengthen our arms, inhaling into our version of cobra. Only lengthen those arms as tall as feels good for you. Hello, Oliver. How kind of you to join us. Let's take another big inhale here. And then as we exhale, we'll bring, or attempt to bring, ourselves down to the earth. Bend through our knees, tuck those toes, lift our hips behind us, and we'll meet in our version of downwards facing dog. Pressing our hands into the earth, our tailbone is pulling behind us. We have a long line from our fingertips to our tailbone, and we can have a gentle or generous bend in those knees. We'll start to pedal our feet out, kind of like we're walking on the spot. Bring some space into those hamstrings. After 1 or 2 more breaths, we'll bring our gaze up towards our hands. And when we're ready, we'll slowly walk those feet back up to our hands. Inhaling into our halfway lift, spine parallels the earth. And then exhale, fold forward. We're going to slowly unwind all the way back up to standing. Inhale those fingertips tall. And exhale to your heart. Once again, we're going to inhale, sweep our hands forward. Exhale, sit back into our chair. This time, we're going to bring our hands into prayer, pressing the palms of our hands together in front of our heart. Let's take a peek down at the outside of that right knee. Give that left elbow a little wiggle. Take a big long inhale, and as you exhale, we're going to bring that left elbow to the outside of our right knee. Keeping those hands pressing together, we're opening our heart to the right side. Want to keep those knees next to one another, feel nice and balanced. Then let's take a little challenge here. Lift that left heel off of the floor, and we're going to step that left foot all the way back into our tall lunge. You can keep those hands pressing together, or if you'd prefer, you can open your arms wide. Reach that right hand up to the sky. Generous rotation through our spine. Let's take a big inhale. And then as we exhale, left knee to the earth, sweep both hands up to the sky. Sinking forward into that front right hip. Might feel good to shimmy that right foot a little bit forward. I know it does for me. We're going to keep that left arm reaching tall. Right hand comes to our side. Left hand to the nape of our neck, right hand to our low spine. Let's start to inchworm those hands together. If we make the bind, fantastic. If not, still fantastic. Left elbows lifting, right elbows pulling to the earth. Let's hang out here for 3 full breaths. Maybe each exhale you sink forward just a little bit more. When we're feeling ready, we'll release those hands, bring them to that thigh. Let's bring those hands to the inside of our right foot. Gonna tuck those left toes, lift that left leg off of the earth. And we're gonna step that left foot about half of the distance up towards our right foot. So we want to have both sets of toes pointing forward. Staying melted forward towards the earth. We'll try to keep both of our legs straight, but you're welcome to take a micro bend into either knee to make this revolved pyramid a bit more accessible for you. We're going to start to walk those hands towards our right foot. Maybe we can put one hand on either side of that front right foot. Maybe our hands are on that front right thigh instead. Let's see if we can walk those hands a little bit further to the right side until that left hand comes to the outside of our right foot. We can stay with both hands down, or we can lift that right hand up to the sky, coming into our revolved pyramid. Both of those hips are pulling behind us. We have long legs. Let's take a big inhale, open through that chest, our collarbone. And exhale, stay strong. One more breath wherever you are. And this time as we exhale, We'll begin to walk back. Bring those hands to the inside of our right foot. Step that left foot all the way up beside its partner. Let's let those feet go nice and wide. Generous bend in our knees. And melt forward, fingertips towards the earth as we melt into our rag doll. So kind of like our child's posture, but we're standing. Let those arms, neck, shoulders, hands, everything be heavy towards the earth, pulling your spine towards the earth. And that tailbone lifts, bringing space into your hamstrings and pulling that spine in the opposite direction. Let's take one more breath here. And then let's start to heel toe those feet to come back to hip distance apart. Let's lift that spine. Take a big inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to sweep our hands forward and sit back into our chair. Let's bring those hands to come into prayer in front of our hearts. Wiggle that right elbow. Take a peek for that left knee. Take a big inhale to get a long spine, and as you exhale, that right elbow is going to hook to the outside of that left knee. Hands continue to press together. Right elbow presses into left knee as our chest and our heart open to the left side. Feel our knees side by side. Our tailbone continues to pull behind us. We'll lift up onto those right toes. And then taking a bunch of little steps or maybe one big step, we're going to step that right foot all the way to the back of our mat. Maybe grabbing onto Paul the wall for some support. Once we're here, we can keep our hands pressing together in prayer, or maybe open our arms wide. Left hand lifting up to the sky. Whatever feels good for you. Let's take one more inhale. And then we'll exhale, bring that right knee to the earth. Hands come to that left thigh. Take a moment to get comfortable. Maybe shimmy that left foot forward. You know, that always feels better for me. And then when we're ready, we'll inhale our hands up to the sky. We continue to sink forward. Let's let that left hand come by our side. Right hand comes to the nape of our neck. Left hand comes to our low spine. Start to inchworm those fingertips together. Whether or not we make the bind, we feel that right elbow lifting. Left elbow is pulling to the earth. Our chest, our heart opens. We're going to stay here for 3 more breaths, really sinking those hips. And then we'll slowly start to release our hands, bring them to the inside of that left foot. We're going to lift up onto those right toes, lifting our right leg. Then we're going to step that right foot forward about half the distance up to that left foot. We're going to stay folding forward. Maybe our hands are pressing into the earth. Maybe our hands are on that left shin. Let's start to walk our hands towards our left foot. Maybe we have a hand on either side. If we can, we'll bring that right hand maybe to the top of our left foot. Maybe that right hand comes to the outside of our left foot. If it feels good for us, we'll take a generous twist by lifting that left hand up to the sky. Keep those hips side by side. Let's take 2 big breaths here. And we'll start to sink once again into that front left knee. Hands come to the inside of that left foot. Let's step that right foot forward. Once again, heel toeing our feet wider than hip distance apart, bending into our knees and melting forward. In our ragdoll, we'll take a few breaths. Hopefully we now feel nice and balanced on each side. Take any wiggles, any shakes. And when we're ready, we'll heel toe those feet back underneath our hips. We'll lift our spine, big inhale. And then exhale, fold forward, and we'll roll all the way up to our standing posture. Lift those fingertips up to the sky. And then let's exhale our fingertips to our hips. Coming into a couple balance postures, keeping those hands on our hips. We'll lift that left heel and open that left knee to the left side. Staying on those left toes, we can stay right here. Maybe this is our version of tree today. Or if you'd like, you can bring the sole of that foot to your calf. Or if it's for you, you can bring the sole of that left foot to the inside of your right thigh. Whatever works for you. Wherever we are, let's open those arms wide, opening our branches. Let's take 3 breaths in our tree. Keeping that left knee opening to the left side. That hip and thigh should feel active. One more big breath. Let's bring those hands back to our hips. Let's lift that left knee to come in front of us. Now we're going to start to bend into our right knee. Let's hook that left knee on top of our right as we sit behind us, coming into our version of eagle. Those arms can reach forward for balance as we squeeze our legs together. If you'd like, you can bend into both elbows, sweep that right elbow underneath your left, and come into the full expression of our eagle. Let's take a big inhale and exhale. One more breath. If we have those arms twisted, let's release them. Let's come to standing tall, lift that left knee, and then release that left foot. I'm always surprised at how much my opposite ankle is just so tired. Guess that means it's working. Take any shimmies, any shakes, then we'll move to the opposite side. So hands to our hips. This time that right heel lifts and our right knee is opening to the right side. We can stay on those right toes, or maybe we bring that right sole of our foot into our left shin or calf. Maybe you pull that foot up all the way to the inside of that left thigh, if that's for you. We can keep our hands where they are. We can bring them where they were on our opposite side, or maybe we try something a little different. You can always challenge your balance by leaning to one side or to the other. But no matter what you're doing, let's keep that right knee open to the right side, and we'll hold for 3 breaths. That gaze on something that isn't moving and try to embody that stillness. Let's bring those hands to our hips. Lift that right knee to come right out in front of us. Then we'll start to bend this time into our left knee, and then wrapping that right leg on top of our left. Let's reach those hands forward for balance. And this time, if you'd like, bending at the elbows, bringing that left arm underneath our right. And maybe bringing those palms together and coming into your full expression of eagle. Once again, those legs are squeezing together. Let's take one more big breath. And then as we exhale, release, and step that right foot down. Release those ankles. Take any shimmies, any shakes that feel good. And we'll bring those our heels under our hips. Inhale our fingertips up to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Fingertips to the earth. We'll inhale into our halfway lift. Long spine, stretching through our hamstrings. And then as we exhale, we're going to plant our hands, step our right foot all the way to the back of the mat, bring that knee to the earth. We're going to keep both hands to the inside of our left foot. Let's take a moment here to kind of settle, get comfortable. You want to feel that left knee somewhere beside that left shoulder. If the earth is too far away, you can always come up onto blocks or a book. Now we're going to continue to work on rotating our spine. So from here, let's lift that left hand up to the sky. You want to keep that left knee right where it was. Long right leg behind us. We can keep that left hand lifted, or if your shoulder and your spine allows, let's reach that left hand all the way to the back of your mat. Now we're going to hang out here for 4 breaths. Option to bend into that right knee and reach that left hand to your right foot or your right ankle. Take that final breath, and then we'll slowly release. Left hand comes back to the earth. We're going to tuck those right toes so we can lift our right knee off of the earth. We're going to step that left foot behind us, coming back one final time into our tall plank. Let's take a big inhale. And exhale. One last big inhale. Gaze comes between those hands. Then let's walk those feet up towards our hands. We'll lift our spine to parallel the earth. And then we'll exhale our hands to the earth so we can step back with our left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Left knee comes to the earth, and those hands come to the inside of our right foot. Once again, take a couple breaths here to get comfortable. Make sure that chest is opening forward, almost like you're pulling yourself forward. That right knee is right beside that right shoulder. And this time we'll start to lift that right hand up to the sky. So again, generous twist through our spine here. We can keep that right hand lifted, or we can reach it all the way to the back of the mat. Once again, we'll be hanging out here for 4 breaths. So option to bend into that left knee, reach that right hand towards your left foot. One last big breath before bringing that right hand back beside our right foot. This time we're going to send our hips all the way back towards that left foot. Our sit bones are going to come onto the earth. And let's extend that left leg forward. Coming into a staff position, we have our long legs reaching forward, toes lift up to the sky. And we're going to enjoy one final twist, a bit more passive as we wind down our practice. So let's take that left knee, bend into our left knee. Left sole of the foot comes into the earth. We can keep that on the inside of our right knee, or if you have the space, that left foot can come to the outside of our right knee. If that left sit bone pops off of the earth, let's bring that left foot back to the inside of the right knee. Let's keep those right toes lifted. Our chest continues to lift. Crown of our head is tall. We'll take a big inhale. And then as we exhale, that left hand is going to come behind our left hip. That right arm is going to start to hug that left knee. If we can, we're going to hook that right elbow to the outside of our left knee. That right hand can reach towards the earth, can run along your thigh, or it can lift up high like a stop sign. Whatever variation we've taken, let's enjoy a couple breaths here, bringing just a little bit more space and rotation in through our spine. One last big breath. And use that whole exhale to come back through neutral. Let that left leg go long. Maybe wiggle your ankles, wiggle through your hips. Whatever you've got to do to feel nice and comfy. This time we'll bring a bend into our right knee. Again, option to go to the outside of that left knee. But if our right bum cheek lifts, let's keep it to the inside. We'll take a big inhale. Those left toes lift tall. Crown of our head lifts tall. Let's bring that right hand to come behind our right hip. We'll start to hug that right knee in towards our chest. If we can, that left elbow is going to hook on the outside of our right knee. That left hand can reach towards your thigh, reach towards the earth, or maybe reach up like a stop sign. Maybe your gaze comes to the back of the room. Wherever we are, let's take several breaths here. Keep that crown of your head lifting. And that rotation through your spine. One last big breath. And again, use that entire exhale to come back to our neutral staff pose. Take any wiggles, any shimmies. And then we'll bring our sit bones to be halfway down our mats. Let's bring a bend into those knees. We'll bring our hands behind our thighs, and we're going to slowly lower ourselves all the way down, bringing the back of our head into the earth. We'll bring the soles of our feet together, coming into a reclined butterfly. Those hands can come by your sides, or maybe they come onto your hips or your belly. And just let your body start to find stillness. With every exhale, see if you can release some of the weight of your body into the earth. Hopefully those hips are feeling nice and soft and spacious and open. You're welcome to keep your legs in a supported butterfly posture for your final resting pose. Or if you'd like to take your traditional Shavasana, we can lengthen our left leg long to the left corner of our mat, followed by our right leg long to the right corner of our mat. Let's bring that awareness back to our breath, feeling it flow in and out of our body. Begin to feel every muscle, every joint begin to soften and release. Feel your toes, your shins, your knees, your thighs and your hips heavy in the earth. Feel that low spine, your belly button, your shoulder blades, your chest. All get heavy. Let your shoulders, your elbows, your forearms, and your fingertips release all of their tension. Let that awareness drift up your neck, towards your jaw, your mouth, smooth forehead. Let that awareness settle on the crown of your head. Let's give ourselves several moments of stillness and silence as we absorb all of that work we just did. Bringing our awareness back to the room if it's wandered away. We'll give those fingertips and toes a little wiggle. And then slow and steady, We'll start to bring movement into our hands and our feet, our wrists and our ankles. Taking a big inhale, reach those fingertips all the way up to the sky. Take a full body stretch, just like in the beginning of class. Oh, but this time as we exhale, we'll pull ourselves into a small little ball on either of our sides. Taking a moment to just bring that awareness back into this space as your body and your mind wakes up. And let's press our body nice and tall, coming into a seated posture. Nothing fancy, whatever feels good. Let's bring those fingertips by our sides. We'll take a big inhale, sweep our arms wide, and then exhale, fingertips back to the earth. One more time, big inhale. This time our gaze comes up to the ceiling, and then exhale those hands together and all the way down to our hearts. We'll take a bow for ourselves and a bow for our practice together. I hope everyone feels amazing. I hope your hips feel great. I hope your whole body feels great. If you're looking to stay on your mat for 5 more minutes, check out that meditation that I created. That is great to close your practice to. I hope to see you guys next time. Thanks so much for stopping in. Take care.